the home of the do-it-yourself trucker. When everything goes wrong, you gotta Redneckanize.
Tires on one axle, so we're just going to replace tires on the front axle. Your back axle, you're good for a while. Well, that's okay as long as you're not running like that. But if you start locking that differential in, now you're changing the ratio in that rear end, because that little bit of tread depth is changing the ratio in that rear end, and it's changing the road speed. You know, the two axles are not running the same speed all the time, because that tire that's almost wore out is trying to work twice and turn twice, half again as fast to catch up with them ones that's got the new tread on them. It's common logic. People just need to use their head and think.
Well, so that brings. Well, no, that's a good question. I'm going to ask a good question, I think, which I think a lot of owner operators out there, they do it all the time. I see it done all the time. I've done it in the past, and it's probably not a good thing. Is when you're out there buying new tires, they're buying an axle at a time, and that's probably a good thing to be doing.
Well, it doesn't hurt anything. It doesn't hurt anything, Ed. Like I said, you can do it. A little bit ain't going to make that much of a difference if you're as long as you're not running that differential lock all the time.
Right.
Because it will split. It divides the power, like I said, to the front and the rear as it needs. It's a little extra wear on the rear. I'm not doubting that. It's not good. I mean, it's just like, taking a 4-wheel drive vehicle. If you got a 4-wheel drive vehicle that's 4-wheel drive, that's full time, that you can't, you got everything turning under there all the time. Yeah, if you've got one size tire on the front and a bigger tire on the back, and you start using that 4-wheel drive, you're going to tear something up. A rear end, a drive line, something's going to go. You can't do that, because you got one axle spinning faster than the other one, and that one that can't keep up, that's the one you're going to have problems with.
Gotcha. Yep. Cool. Yep. I think
here's the thing to worry about.
A lot of people rotate their tires. Every so often they'll rotate their tires. Well, whatever works for them. I'm not saying don't do it. Me, I don't do it, because I put a full set of drive tires on my truck probably 3 years ago now, just about 3 years ago. Now I don't haul that heavy anymore, but my tires right now are still probably half or 3/4 tread, because I don't haul heavy, and I have never, since I put them tires on that truck, I put new tires, new brakes. I keep my brakes checked and everything. Brakes. I've been 3 years since I put brakes on that truck, and they're still better than half of the lining left on them, and my tires are wearing perfectly even. Now, the back ones might be a little lower than the front ones, but it's within a thousandth or two. They all wear pretty even on mine. So I've always got this theory: if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If they're wearing good, you're not having any problems, no cupping problems or nothing. Keep your alignments done. Keep up with everything. As long as you're not having any problems, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Don't try to fix a problem that ain't there.
There you go.
And when I go to replace them, I change all of them.
There you go.
I'll pull all 8 of them off, and I'll use them on the trailer, or use them whatever, or sell them, get rid of them, do whatever. But I don't try to cheat the system anymore. It ain't worth it. It'll end up costing you more in the end than it's worth. That's like running
recaps.
When
you're buying a new tire, and you've got a skinnier tire beside it, you're going to make that brand new tire wear out twice as fast. And if the other tire's not hitting the road all the time, it'll create, I've been told it creates heat.
It will.
And you can run into problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can run into so many problems. You want to match.
Yep.
That's why if I have an emergency blowout going down the road, I'll go into a dealership, somewhere, and I'll see if I can't match it with the same size of tire, but I try to get the same depth, tread depth.
Yeah.
Well, that's like recaps. For some of these companies, they're so big that they'll put recaps on the trailers, because drivers are so hard on tires. They know they're going to get tore up, but and they don't care. They got too much equipment. Me, as an owner-operator, I can't, and I know some owner-operators that runs caps. In fact, his dad does, a father-in-law. He runs caps on his trailer. And he don't go nowhere but back and forth to Chicago or Grand Rapids, Michigan, or back home. And he don't run, he'll run a couple hours, and he'll stop, take a break for a little bit, and get a coffee, use the bathroom, whatever, and get back in it. They get time to cool off. Me, I can't do that, because I don't run like that. When I run, I'll run 5, 6, 7 hours straight before I ever stop the truck sometimes. And in the summertime, when it's 90, up in the 80, 90, 100 degrees outside, that road's running 120, 130, that pavement.
Yeah.
Well, them tires are getting hot. I cannot run a recap. And not only that, but a them recap, when they let go, they will end up, a recap, the cost difference between a recap and a brand new tire is roughly maybe 100 less, and maybe sometimes less than $100 difference anymore. So when that tire goes, as a matter of fact, I have preached that about recaps forever. I quit running them. I tried it when I was younger, and when I first started with my own trucks, we tried running caps, and that caps ended up costing me more than they ever made me. And I've said that. In fact, you got a listener on there right now that owns his truck and trailer, and I kept telling him one time, I said, get them caps off your trailers. They're going to cause you problems. They're going to cost you money. Yeah, I'm trying to run them on out, and then I'm going to put virgins on it. Pow! There went the back end of one side of his trailer. He just wiped the whole back end of his trailer off on one side. So he rebuilt it. So I told him, I said, you better get them other tires off there. It's going to happen again. Yeah, they're almost down now to where I'm just going to get them off and put new ones on. Bang! And next week, almost a week or so later, he took the other side out. Well, guess what? I bet you'll be hard-pressed to find a recap on his trailer now.
Well, no.
He'll tell you about it. He's on there listening. I know he is, so he can tell you about it.
I think that's the biggest thing.
We all love it, though.
Yep, I think that's the biggest thing is the price difference. It's not really that much cheaper,
right?
And
it's not.
No, I mean, and then like my experience with recaps is they wear faster. It's not that they. Yes. I mean, it's like the tread actually wears off faster. It's like the tread that they use to retread the tire is like less. It's not as strong. It doesn't last.
It's softer.
Yeah.
It's softer rubber.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't like it. I think paying another $150 on a new tire is fine. I mean, especially if it's a good tire. If you got good Michelins and good years, those tires they make good tires. I've never had a problem. I've always had Michelins. I think I put some what's a Continental? I used Continental one time. They were good. They weren't bad at all. It's a personal preference when it comes to those big tire companies. They all make good tires. So
I got Continental. I got 16 flat Continentals on the front of my Classic now, and I've had good luck out of them. I mean, I really have. They're wearing good. They wear smooth. I haven't had a problem. I had one that broke a bolt in it. I can't blame the tire because, hey, let's face it. You see how the roads are down there in Kentucky and stuff around here anymore. These roads are atrocious.
Yep.
All right, so I can't say that a pothole or something didn't break the belt, but they replaced it. All right, but I got Michelin, them high-energy Michelins on the drives now, and then the trailer, I don't know, there are Firestones on that new trailer I got, but I haven't had any problem. Yeah, I passed my tire the other day, too, where Robbie put that screw in it. I know he put that in there on purpose, but either way.
Yeah, the Kenworth.
I did all that, but...
Yep, the Kenworth showed up to your yard, and all of a sudden you got screws laying around everywhere on the ground.
Yeah, ain't that something? You got two Kenworths pull in the yard, and all of a sudden I started getting flat tires like them. Yeah, go figure. But... yeah, I mean, I don't, I hear guys saying, well, I can't afford new tires. I can't afford new tires. Well, you know what? I used to think that too. And then when I started adding the cost up and figuring out what my cost of maintenance was just some tires a year for having just not even cutting them or tearing them up, but just having caps coming off in the summertime, I thought, you know what? If I can't afford to put new tires on my equipment, then I don't need to have a truck. I don't need to be doing this.
Yeah.
Because there's no future.
You can't afford tires. Tires is a safety factor between you and the road.
Yeah. And they used to be, well, if you blow a tire and it hit somebody or hit a car or something, you wasn't responsible, and act to God. But trust me, I've had 2 incident reports wrote up by the state police, and one of them was on my record for 2 years or 3 years for a damn tire that blew out and hit the side of a Jeep. It didn't do anything, just went down the side of it like a zipper, just put little black spots down the side of it. It would have rubbed right out. But they wrote up an accident report, and I carried that as an incident, not an accident, but an incident on my license for 2 years because of that. And I said right there, that was the end of me in the recaps.
There you go.
I haven't had a cap put on the trailer since.
Well, so I've seen recaps come off the tires that go 16 foot in the air and then come down. That would have gone through a windshield and killed somebody.
There you go. I think what he's talking about is tires, cost of doing business, and that's why you're talking about I can't afford tires, I can't afford new tires. Guess what we got to do? We got to take back our industry and start just taking more rate. We got to, if you're not making enough to buy tires, then you're not making enough, and that's what we're talking about here. So yeah, we're kicking back here, figuring out what's going on with mats and talking about life on the road and taking care of tires, and we got talking about tires because we were talking about the interaxle differential lock, and of course how you got to watch out for different size tires when you're running the lockers at full highway speed, which you can do. It doesn't. It's not good for the fuel mileage, but it's not going to destroy the truck. But if you got different size tires, which we talk about was crazy, it's just drivers that they decide they're going to get different size tires just because they can't what they want, they don't have, or I need tires, let's get whatever I can or whatever I can afford or whatever I need, and it's like get it quick instead of doing research and doing it right, and like planning ahead and all that, and so that kind of stuff we just have to be careful of. And so we were talking about that and talking about everything on there. So we're going to bring back the guys on here and talk about some things. And I'm going to just get everything down here and tuned in to where we can. Our good friend Dave Gore right here singing this song. He's on YouTube, Dave Gore Music. If you look up YouTube, he's on there, and I appreciate all the Dave Gore support. He's a good friend of ours. We hope to see him more. Check him out at Matt's. I tell you what, he's awesome. And that's our good friend Dave Gore there, doing everything there, taking care of business. And we appreciate all of his support. And like I said, if you go check him out, Dave Gore Music on YouTube, he's got music videos. I mean, actual like produced videos, and it's pretty awesome. I mean, he's one of those guys that's just constant country music, and it's awesome. So yeah, we got Jeff, we got Greg, and we got our good friend Robbie on here too. Robbie, man, I tell you what, they were talking bad about you, talking about how you were running them recaps, but I guess you went and got those changed up, did you?
Yeah, I did. Recaps is not a very good thing to do. Yeah, it's not. It in the long run, it'll cost you more. It's not very good to run without them. Just spend the money and put versions on.
There you go.
That's all I got to say about that.
That's all I got to say about that. Yep. But yeah, so
Robbie, I ain't picking on you, buddy.
Yeah, well, you know what? When